guys, it's Charlene. I wanted to share a gorgeous card using the brand new Seashore cover plate die, as well as some other products from the new release from Picket Studios. So we're going to start out here with this cover plate die. I've cut it out of some white cardstock, and then I'm bringing in my paper pouncers. They make this so easy, and I'm just pouncing on this very light beige colored ink, getting it all the way around, and then I'm going to come in with a slightly darker tone. And see, I'm using the pouncers just to go around the edges here, and that's going to create this really nice depth and shading. This is going to be the beach area of the cover plate. Next, I'm doing the surf area. This is the area where the water kind of comes up onto the sand and looks maybe a little bit foamy. I decided to do it in a light blue. And now this I'm doing in a slightly darker shade of blue, but it's also a little bit more vibrant. And then the top right corner, I'm going to be doing in a very dark kind of sea blue. And this is a fun cover plate die because you could pick whatever colors you wanted to do there. You could even go kind of off the board and not do anything seashore related and just do some fun, different, funky colors, and it would look really cool. So I'm using some liquid adhesive here. I'm going to glue on that bottom sand part. And then you can see there, I cut out a few more copies in white cardstock because I'm just going to layer each of these up kind of at different levels. For the light blue piece where the water's coming up on the sand, I did 3 total pieces, so 2 pieces of plain white and then the top light blue. For this middle one, I did 3 pieces of plain white and that blue, so it kind of raises up. And then for the area that's out in the ocean, I'm actually just going to do 1 extra piece of cardstock underneath that. So it's going to create some depth and some dimension to the card. Not necessary, but you could play around with this. It's really fun to do differing levels with this cover plate die. This cover plate die also comes in a slimline size, which is really fun. Some of the design team members did some awesome cards with that. So be sure to check out the Picket Fence community Facebook group. There's all kinds of awesome inspiration over there. So to add a little bit of fun here, I've got everything in my splat box. I added some splatters of thinned out white paint as well as some water so it can react with the ink. And there's a little bit of shimmer in that water. Now I'm using one of the stamps from More of Dropping By to Say Croak. I love that stamp there in the top right corner with the frogs and they're hanging out. You could use this in a pool scene, but it also works really well for a beach scene. So I'm going to color all of my cute little frogs in here. For the frogs, I'm using G82 and G99, and I'm doing a method here where I kind of color out the darkest green onto my glass mat, and then I can pick it up with the tip of my lighter green. So this allows me to blend and shade, I feel like, a little bit better. I've been doing this technique a lot lately. So if you've never tried that before, I definitely recommend giving it a try. You also can do what's called the tip to tip method, where you just open up the marker and kind of dab the tip of the lighter color to the darker color, and it'll pick up a little bit of the ink. Now here for the umbrellas, I am using some RV000 and some RV02 for this pink striped umbrella. And then I'm using some C0, which is a very, very light cool gray, in order to add a little bit of shading on there. For the blue umbrella, I'm using BG01 and BG05. Just real vibrant, fun blue colors. They're in the blue-green family, but I always think of them as blues. I did color that little cup with some BG34. And then for the swimsuits here, the orange one, I am doing YR15, then yellow Y06, and B24 for the blue, and V04 for the purple. For my sentiment, I am pulling from the You Were Mermaid for Me stamps, and this is a fun set. You can use those stamps, especially I love those waves at the top there, with lots of other Picket Fence products. So a real versatile set that I pull out quite frequently, actually. So I decided to heat emboss this with some black embossing powder, and then I'm going to die cut it with the coordinating dies. And now I'm going to do something fun. I decided my sand needed a little something more, so I brought out the background sand stamp, and I'm using my Pouncer here. This is a really easy way to apply ink to your stamps, actually, so give this a try. I love how this works. You can also blend your inks onto your stamps this way. It's really cool. So I'm stamping everything out with a slightly darker tone here and stamping it over the sand bottom part of that Seashore cover plate die. And look at that. Doesn't that look cool? I think it came out really awesome. I love that look. Now I can glue everything together and it just fits on there like a puzzle. It fits right in back into those little nooks and crannies around each piece. And now hopefully you can tell in the video that difference I was talking about with the added dimension where I layered up the cardstock pieces. That's just a fun technique to use when you're doing cover plate dies. Try, layering some parts and not others. It makes a really interesting look on the front of your cards. I did go ahead and also add some cardstock to the back of my cute little frog scene here, as well as to the back of my sentiment. I just die cut out a few extra pieces using the dies that coordinate, and then I trimmed them where I needed to so that they would fit really well on top of those other layered pieces. So everything is nice and flat. You also could use some foam here, some adhesive foam, and that would work well. Bringing in some of my favorite All About the Blues sequin mix. I use this sequin mix all the time, love it. And I'm just putting it kind of sprinkled all over the front of the card. Even though it's blue, I feel like it just brings that sand and ties it into the rest of the card with the water. All right, guys, that's my finished card. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks today. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell so that you'll know about future videos that are released here on the Picket channel. Have a great day.